Yes, sir. Welcome to episode 84 of the Everything NYJ Podcast. Liam, Italy Jet, and our good friend, Boy Green. How you doing, Paul?
Well, I'm doing amazing. I just corrected a wrong just as this show was starting because I had thought that I had done this some time ago because I think Italy was talking to me about it on the side, but I just properly followed you guys on Twitter, so I don't know what was the effing holdup there, but I just went because for our names on StreamYard, right? We see our names and our handles,
Right.
and the handle looked familiar, but I'm like, man, I haven't seen that in a while, and then I went boop 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 boop, and I went oh beep boop, and had to make sure we corrected that wrong. So we had to start with good vibes at the beginning of the show,
Yes,
right?
Right. Right.
Just got the notification.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're welcome. God
Thank
bless. I'll sign it if you send it. So booyah, we had to make sure we got that done right away. Absolutely. So I'm fired up. Hopefully you guys are fired up. Let's do this, puppy. Love it.
Dude, I am so
Love
fired
it.
up, but I guess we're gonna get right into it. There's actually not some not so great news in Jets land. You know, we got some Quinn Williams drama. We got Quan Alexander visiting the Steelers. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on all of this?
All right, let's go through a couple. So we'll start with the Quan news first. So
Sure.
he's visiting, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There it is on the screen. He's visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Adam Schefter on that this morning. There's been a lot of rumors of a team like the Raiders or the Titans or another team could potentially be interested. It could potentially be interested. I'm sorry, I'm just somewhat distracted. Yeah, can you? Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Anywho, sorry, that was the weirdest thing in history. So I'm coming into your house. So that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened in my
We'll
life.
be back after these messages.
Yeah, right. Wrong house. That was weird. Okay. Anywho, Quan Alexander. That has never happened in my life. Sorry,
I think
back on
Boy
track.
Green's getting broken into on the show.
That's what I thought, and I was like, "Can you
There's
come
someone-
back later?" Yeah, a
There's
different time, perhaps.
There's someone
Yeah,
crawling
so
through your
funny.
window.
Yeah, that was odd. Looking straight on that way. Anywho, yeah. So Quan Alexander visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's been some flirtation with teams like the Raiders, and there's been a few other teams just kind of hanging in the middle of that could chase Quan. But like this is real, like him going to visit another team. So I started to reach out to some Steelers people to see, because I don't know the intricate details of every team. Like every team's biggest weakness is this or this or this. So I dug in, and they're kind of in the same spot as the Jets. They have a couple of starters they feel good about, but in terms of the depth, there isn't proven depth. There's no proven depth with the Jets. So, I'm hoping this is hopefully the Jets get this opportunity. Obviously, we don't hear about the Quan signing some point tonight or tomorrow morning or something. Like, I hope that a big thing here involved in all this is that it's pressure like the Jets are like, okay, we can't mess around. Let's go lock in Quan. Because what are we talking about? He signed for $1.1 million last year. Chump change. Great for us. But I mean, chump change for the Jets. They can find it in their couch cushions. And I think he deserves a pay raise because last year he appeared in a full season for the first time since 2016. So you want to give him a pay raise, double his pay, triple his pay. We're still talking relative peanuts to the overall picture. And Robert Saleh made it a point at the beginning of the offseason to say he wants to retain as many people as possible on defense. And we're chasing the thing. And Quan's a great leader. He delivered when he was on the field. He appeared in 17 games, but made 12 starts. And my biggest question, I investigated it in a recent column for heavy.com, is what happens if CJ Mosley gets hurt? What happens if Quincy Williams gets hurt? We are just one injury away, boys, from, and no offense to these guys, but they're unproven. Zaire Barnes, Hamza Nasruddin, Jamie and Sherwood. Like, I'm pulling Chaz Surratt. Like, what the hell? Like, come on, man. This is a defense that people say is Super Bowl ready. So to start off with the Quan note, like, man, that to me would scare me enough into paying the price. Now, I'm not saying you have to give him $54 million like he got a couple of years ago in 49ers land, but geez, like Jet fans are begging for this. Like, let's fill an obvious hole with the guy who wants to be there. And he's tweeted a couple weeks ago, hey, they've got my number, like saying the ball's in the Jets court. I'd love to be there, but hey, my phone ain't ringing. So right off the get-go from that, Liam, the Quan situation's kind of sad. Again, it's not, I get it, it's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not like the biggest move in the world, but for Jet fans, I think it would quench a thirst in terms of that linebacker hole. And, jumping over to your Quinnen question real quick, in a general sense, it's just Jet fans don't want to see it. We don't want to see that, the best player on the team, right? You see that first graphic, their defensive tackle for a bunch of dots. It used to be New York Jets, and now I hadn't heard of that one, but good for Italy Jet here that he's not even following the Jets now. So another social media thing. I hadn't heard about that one, but, So there's another pie on top of that, I suppose. But it's just it's just weird. It's just stuff we don't want to see. The Jets need to pay their guy. They need to take care of business. And I just was going through some YouTube comments before coming on the show, and someone dropped on. I had Henry McKenna, who broke the price tag story earlier today, which was nice out of Fox Sports. So it was cool to chat to him. But people were commenting under, well, we paid Muhammad Wilkerson and that didn't work out. So you're just never going to pay a homegrown talent ever again. Like you're just afraid to get burned again. Like I remember that one stunk because Jet fans were rooting for that as a hometown kid. But like you can't be afraid to pay somebody. He's earned his right. You can't let ghost of the past haunt you today. So I really hope the Jets, figure out their crap, quite frankly, and pay the man. He's well worth it, and the market's there. Everything's lined up there. I know that's a very long-winded way to answer all these questions, but yeah, right off the top, that one's a frustrating one to me for sure.
And at the same time, it's like, I know this is the era of, players putting it to social media, right?
Of course.
We haven't seen this like this bad probably with the Jets and since Jamal Adams. And then all of a sudden, then you go to Marcus May and then you go to, we paid Wilkerson, but then look what happened. It didn't really work out. And then now we're experiencing it with Q. I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm not freaking out yet, but I don't want to see this crap now. It's like, I understand he's nicknamed Big Baby. I know, back his Alabama days, he's nicknamed Big Baby because I'm an Alabama fan. So if he's living up to that, I don't want him to live up to that. But I'm not going to freak out until the end of May when they have to report. So
that's fair.
I think, but it's still not good to see, especially
right
with Quan. Quan, I understand that, Joe Douglas has said a lot of times that he has a lot of faith in Barnes, Nazardine, Sherwood, and they got Surratt, right?
They got Chesra, and then the like rookie Zaire Barnes out of Western Michigan. Yeah, he was a day 3 pick.
Yeah.
So those are the guys in competition. Yes.
So I understand they might want to go a route there, but CJ Mosley's getting older, and then Quincy, you never know he's going to be hot and cold. So for now, I'm like, okay, let's just get back on track. Hopefully this gets done before, because I could see Quinnen not go in the summertime. He's even made it known. And he's got a baby on the way. Yeah, so if that happens, could you see this go in the summertime, Paul?
Oh, boy. I feel similar to you, Italy, that, when you start worrying about it, because technically the Jets practices, my days may be off a little, but it's coming this week is when practices start. It's like May 18th range. It's that Thursday. Yeah. And then they have basically 2 weeks of practices, which again is why it was important on the Aaron Rodgers, important in quotations, but relatively important that if he could be there, why not be there for those practices? So you got 2 weeks of practices and then mandatory minicamp, which is the middle of the first week of June, and then they're gone for a month and a half, although it's a little less than that because we have the Hall of Fame game this year, so camp, it's not official yet, but camp is supposed to open in July 16th, 17th. So you're talking about a month and change of time that's supposed to happen there. So to circle back to your question, the hard knocks, are we getting a Roscoe Diner, Quinnen Williams situation? God, I hope not. I feel like ultimately cooler heads prevail here. Would it be cool to have him at these practices that are about to start in a handful of days? Of course. But he's Quinnen Williams. If he's there or not there, it doesn't really move the needle. We'd like him to be there in a perfect world, but what I want him there, the biggest one for me is training camp. And there's a lot of time between now and training camp to figure this out. And again, I think the easiest part of this, easy for me to say, I guess, from my couch over here, but the thing for me is that the market's established. What are we talking about here? Jeffrey Simmons got paid. Dexter Lawrence got paid. Deron Payne got paid. And he's going to edge all of those guys, and deservedly so. He deserves every penny he could get. But, he's going to be the number 2 highest paid defensive tackle. No shame in that game, making $25 million per year on a multi-year deal. And I will just lay it on the line here. That would be the richest contract in Jets history, the richest contract per year in Jets history, and the richest and most guaranteed Jets contract in history. CJ Mosley holds all of those barometers. Those will all be annihilated by Quinnen Williams' contract. So ultimately, it could, of course, it always can. You can never say never in this business, Italy. But I believe that gets hammered out in that darkness period, pun intended, I guess, by accident. But that darkness period of in the middle of after mandatory minicamp and training camp, they just figure it out. Joe Douglas, Nicole Lane get in a room and say, okay, let's just figure this thing out.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's all just like contract like negotiations. I mean, on our show, Italy Jet, his nickname is Big Baby, and you should see the contract struggles I have with him.
When was this?
Wow.
When
Okay.
was
You know.
this? Wow, I think I need to go on a darkness retreat now.
Apparently. I'm seeing that already jump into the comments here. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that they're just trying to get this Roger restructure done and everything. And then I'm seeing reports anywhere from I originally thought it was going to be between 20 and 25 million. Now I'm seeing 25 to 30 million. What is your absolute cap? Are you willing to go up to 30 million, or is there a deal that you wouldn't do?
Hey, I will say this, and I said it on my show earlier today, youtube.com/boygreen25, baby. Branding.
Yeah,
very important.
very
But
important.
I said last year, like, Jet fans, hey, how about this? Let's be proactive. Let's pay Quinnen right now on a 4 or 5 year deal. He's 24 years old at the time. He's 25 now. Let's give him a 4 or 5 year deal for about 20, 21 mil a year. Like, Jet fans, let's do it. Let's rally. Jet fans called me idiot. They said I should stop doing Jets content creation in general. That's the stupidest thing they've ever heard, and he will never get that kind of money, and called him a quote-unquote Jets draft bust. And I went, oh, okay. All right, let's see the season. Now, of course, as you just hinted at, Liam, that the real conversation is, that number ain't 2021 anymore. That number is 25 plus. So to circle back to it, I am more than comfortable giving $25 million a year right now from, which again, we're making the second highest paid defensive tackle in football. I have no bones about making him clearly number 2. Now, the number 2 right now technically is Jeffrey Simmons, who just got his deal. According to the APY, the average per year, it's 23.5. Now, those numbers can sometimes get contorted and messed up. Like DeAndre Hopkins, when he got his mini extension, he was briefly making $30 million a year, which kind of threw off the wide receiver market back then. So, like, sometimes it's not the best barometer, but he's making 23.5. Jeffrey Simmons. I am more than comfortable making Quinnen not even nickel and diming, like $1.5 million. I'm willing to, put that floor right there and let's talk. Now, you mentioned the 30 million number, which is getting closer to the Aaron Donald conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, Quinnen's dynamic. And if you think about it, the contract you're going to give him is 4 or 5 years. You can play it either way. It's what the true guarantees matter anyway. That means he's going to see through his contract before he's 30. I feel if I'm the Jets and you believe in him anyway, which obviously they do, then of course, let's give him a 4 or 5 year deal. And then it works out for everybody. The Jets pay their guy, reputation around the league. Look, we pay our people, number 1. Number 2, Quinnen gets his money. He hasn't been paid yet. Again, no one's crying him rivers for the millions he's already made as a 3rd overall pick. But like his true value, he gets that. And then before he's 30, I want another mega deal, 4 or 5 years for the same price or maybe even higher by the time we get to whatever that would be, 2027, 2028. So like,
yeah, exactly.
So that's the point that the market can change at that point. So I really don't necessarily say, oh man, here's the line and that's it. Now, it's probably a good thing Jet fans are like, thank God you're not at the negotiating table, you freak, because you'd be giving him too much bag. But I just think that he deserves it. He's so friggin' good. I am so good with him getting $25 billion plus a year. He's dynamic. And man, at 25, I feel like there's more to go. The prime is coming. I don't even think he's in his prime right now. I think there's more prime to be acquired, depending on the people you talk to. 27, that 27.5 is when you're truly kind of, really becoming a man and really kind of coming into your own. And you got that big boy country strength and stuff like that. So like, I still think there's more Quinnen to be tapped. You had 12 sacks last year and he missed a game. Like, and he could have had more. I really think there's so much more potential here for Quinnen. So, no, Liam, to your point, I don't think there's really a line. I don't think he has to get paid more than Aaron Donald, but he has every right to be in the conversation based on stats, analytics, all-pro nod, everything else.
And he is very important. I mean, like, also, you mentioned when he missed the game, that obviously that Lions game, it's like the defense couldn't even show up. So, he's really an anchor of the defense. So he's a lot more than just a player.
So maybe to your point, Liam, instead of pointing to the tape where he's actually an all-pro, he points to the tape when he wasn't on the field and say, hey, you think I'm good. Well, what happened there? As soon as you remove me, dippity boppity boop, your defense sucks, pal. So you move me out of the picture. Look, all of a sudden what was gone there. So you're right. Maybe he points to that at the negotiating table, not him sacking quarterbacks, him saying, hey, look at you guys not sacking guys when I was out of the game. It's a good point.
It's true.
Can you remember – I just keep thinking, it seems like everything blows up on a Monday now, Paul. Like it just blows up everything
weird.
on a Monday.
Right.
I had a good Mother's Day weekend, and all of a sudden
Hmm.
this happens on a Monday. So I just keep thinking the past 4 or 5 hours that I'm like, is there any other first round pick or any Jets player that we have signed to an extension like this that's big money that has gotten better each and every year? I can't think of anyone besides Quinnen Williams. Is there a name that comes to your mind?
So a first round pick the Jets made, and then as they went through the rookie contract, they kept getting exponentially better.
And not only that, or just a player in our draft picks, even second, third, fourth, fifth round, because they haven't been staying too long.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's the honest truth. Is that again? I think I had these stats a while back before Quinnen that like the last guy to get like any kind of an extension, it barely counts. Like Marcus May got the franchise tag, so that doesn't count. Then he was gone, and he obviously had some of the off the field issues. You go to like Jordan Jenkins, but like I mean, he came back on a weird deal that was like cheap, and then he went to the Texans, and then now he's kind of been kind of thrown around the league. Like man, you just have to dig, which goes to show you. But to think though that like how you're handling these negotiations with Quinnen. You'd be crazy not to think Breece Hall, who, by the way, tweeted out extend Q earlier today.
The hashtag,
Hall, Sauce, Garrett Wilson, these young guys who know, like, again, we're still a few years away, so we don't have to get too crazy, but how can they not at least be peripherally peering at how that's going to say, hey, when the bell rings, are you paying me? Or is there going to be all this tay-to-tay dancing in the streets? That could rub some people the wrong way. Again, I'm not trying to paint this terrible locker room or anything crazy. We're nowhere near that. It's a business.
No.
Quinnen is here and his agent's here. Joe Douglas is here, and nothing has happened yet. Quinnen's still under contract for another year. The Jets had the franchise tag, so we're not in crazy, oh, hell no, the locker room's gone astray. We're nowhere near that yet. But I do believe sooner rather than later, you might as well pay him. Why wouldn't you pay him this offseason? It just makes the most sense.
Yeah, that is definitely something. And then I believe it was Green Bean that was also saying that like these players aren't necessarily honoring their contracts anymore. Like they're holding out, but like you still are under contract for another year. Like we don't have to pay him, like it's tricky. It really is.
That's true. It's true, Liam. You're right, and Green Bean's right, and I know he's been a proponent of that. Because again, if the Jets wanted to, they have the 5th-year option, and then some people have said the rule have changed. I haven't seen it officially in the book. So the Jets either have 2 years of franchise tag or 3 years. The old rule was 3 years. So it's either 3 or 2 additional on top of that. So wherever we are in the argument of that. So they still have a minimum of 3 years of control of Quinnen. Now, just because you have leverage doesn't mean you should use it. Just because, to bring it to my personal life, right? I've got a beautiful fiance who's taking care of our baby behind the scenes, right? Just because I somehow have leverage, like she messed up and I'm flexing on her and holding it over her head like, ha, 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 sucker. See, I was right. That's going to get me sleeping on the couch. That's not going to get me all the things I want. So the same thing with the Jets going, well, sucker, you're under contract. And he's like, all right, I'll throw a fit. And you want to go to the Super Bowl this year? I guess that ain't happening because I'm going to throw, a fit. I don't want any of that to happen. So again, just because leverage exists doesn't mean it should be exercised. If the Jets want to threaten it and hopefully get a deal done, I just want a deal done. I want a deal done. Jet fans want a deal done. The show wants a deal done. Everyone wants a deal done because even going back to the Revis Roscoe Diner thing, like in that Hard Knock season, which was 13 years ago, which seems crazy to think I'm so old.
Crazy.
I remember.
So you talk about that 13 years ago. They went to the AFC Championship game that year, but the Roscoe Diner thing came all the way up to the last week of the preseason going into what I believe that Jets-Ravens game week 1 results on Monday Night Football, which is kind of a weird connection between this year and that year. So, just get it done. No distractions. Sign him. If we're talking, I don't know. So we don't know. What we do know is what Quinnen wants. What we don't know is what the Jets are willing to pay, which was an earlier question by you, Liam. So, we don't know that, so I'm speculating. But if Quinnen says, I want 27.5, and the Jets go, well, we're not going above 26. If we're talking about $1.5 million per year for your best player on the team, let's go F it and let's just do it. Like they did in the Aaron Rodgers trade ahead of the draft. They said, F it, fine. Pick swap this, the snap percentages, fine. We're good. They just kind of folded. And they folded to get the deal done because we don't want this to drag out in the summer. A similar thing could and should happen here at Quinnen. So I hope that they do it because, again, it's time to get a deal done. He's just too important to the puzzle.
Right. Well, first off, listen, pal. If you ever get sent to the couch,
Yes.
I'm building a very nice doghouse. We live in the doghouse. Italy's always invited. You're always
Excellent.
invited. It's a great place.
Options are good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. You have your options. You're a little ways away from I am, but we can
Yeah.
make it work.
Excellent.
But do you think if the Jets do just decide to franchise tag him, it's really going to piss him off?
Yeah,
I think that definitely would.
Well, it would. Like I said, we have at least this 5th-year option, so it's not like he's unsigned right now. Right now, he's on the 5th-year option, so he is under contract through this upcoming season. So I think ultimately, if they really say and pushed Quinnen up against it, the new CBA punishes Quinnen and any player for that matter that is under contract and they try to hold out. Now, the loophole that you're speaking of is next offseason. Next offseason, if the Jets put the franchise tag on him, technically, until he signs it, he is unsigned. And what I mean by that is you can't find a player that's not under contract. So he could do the Le'Veon Bell, which again didn't really work out for him in the long game, but he could do that, and the Jets couldn't find him. That's where he gets into the mythical land of there's nothing they can do at that point except like get angry about it and then maybe fan vitriol and stuff like that. So I do believe it would make him angry because obviously while there's pros and cons to everything in life, but the pros and cons of the franchise tag is you get a nice pay raise, which you would get from the 5th-year option, but also it's 1 year. And if he blows out his Achilles in the middle of that season or what have you, then all of a sudden the Jets are like, hey, that offer we had of $26.5 million, it's actually $20 million. And that's the harsh reality of the business. So yes, if I was Quinnen at that point, I'd be pissed and then again try to hold out to try to get my long-term deal, because if you blow out your Achilles again, you never want that to happen. At that point, that's when you could say, well, at least I could fall back on this security for me and my family. His child that is either set to be born or has been born in the last bit here is I believe he has a daughter coming at any moment here. So again, he has to secure the bag. But yes, bluntly to your question, I think that would make him angry. Thankfully, that is a 2024 offseason concern at this point.
Cool.
I couldn't agree more. And honestly, now I'm sick and tired of talking about it. So
fair enough.
Here's where I want to go. And I am actually really mad.
Can I just stop you for a second here?
Mr. Unreliable. Go ahead.
No. It's on you. We don't want any problems. So just look at just take a look.
Oh,
look in your
Elmo. Oh, Boy Green. Have you ever heard about this?
No, I have not. What's happening right now?
Gotta say hi to Elmo.
Yeah, sure. Tickle me Elmo. Yeah, big fan.
Don't. Liam can take it away. He'll make your life hell.
Okay.
He doesn't necessarily like to be tickled, this one.
But
you have to say hello to him. But if you don't say hello to him, there's a very good chance if you don't say hello to him, he's going to go onto your podcast and just raise hell. So
actually, I take back my hello because I'd rather get the listens. To be honest, you want to be polarizing. I'm going to be honest. You either want to be loved or hated. I don't want someone that's in the middle that says, I don't really care for Boy Green one way or the other. So like then they don't click. So if you're promising that if I don't say hello, that he's going to come on my podcast, God bless, please.
I can't promise that.
At Boy Green. So hello, Grover, or God knows who else.
Big
Bird, maybe. Yeah, I don't know who you are. Sorry.
I respect it. I'm not gonna lie, I respect it. I'm not gonna do it anymore, but I respect it. Wow.
Italy went down a really bad rabbit hole with this, and it got really ugly. And then he just stopped showing up to our show, and then went on.
What can you
I
do?
saw him on another show. It got messy.
Wow.
But
which
they
it
made up.
Typically does with Elmo, so that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
They hugged it out. So Italy gets his hello. Everything is good in the world. I hope that this doesn't turn to shit. Oh wait,
is there a picture of Italy and Elmo hugging?
No, there is not. There is not.
I would love to see that. That could be a profile picture, maybe.
That could be eventually.
There is
a Rangers fan. I see. Yeah. Not a Rangers fan, so nothing to worry about Elmo there, unfortunately. So there you go.
There is the picture of Elmo and Chad Pennington, though.
Yes. There is. That's what I'm saying. I remember the Sesame Street. Was it Eric Mangini? Who was part of that group? I think it was Mangini. It was Pennington. It was like Lavernius Coles.
I think Curtis Martin was there.
Wasn't Curtis Martin
Curtis Martin was there too. Yeah. There's a nice group there, man. Nice group.
But
that's why. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, Elmo. It's always a pleasure.
It's his Twitter profile. Yeah.
It is. His Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, Elmo's on Twitter too. If you're ever interested.
I'm not, but thanks. Yeah. But thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate
Cool.
the thought.
I
appreciate.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All
Now,
right, let's get back on track here.
there we go. Yeah, pay the man, definitely.
Mhm.
Okay, now, but after this question, I want to show you something because I think they did our guy dirty. Okay,
Our
what do
guy.
you
Who's
what
that?
yeah our guy, which is Sauce Gardner. Okay, we all know about
Oh
the
God. Yes, they
Sports
did. Oh my God.
Illustrated.
What
Okay,
the?
how awful! Come on. I
That's
mean,
uncomfortable, to be
it's
honest.
ridiculous, dude. It looks like he's in like Scream 3 movie or Scream 2. You know what I mean?
Well, blood would be better than what I think a lot of people believe that is. I would.
I want to
I
know.
would venture to say.
I
Yeah.
want to know your thoughts on this. They could have done better, right? They
I'm gonna
could
be
have
so
done better.
like I see. I'll be honest. So
Come on.
I'm you know like I'm a Twitter freak. I try to be on top of things as they're happening. So I
Right.
get a notification that said, "Can you believe the Sauce cover?" And I'm like, "What are they talking about?" And I
Right.
click it, and I just see the lifting hand, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was just excuse my Guatemala. I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this show, but like,
Go
Of course,
for it.
yeah.
but Jesus, I was like, what Sauce? What happened? Like, because Sauce is aware of the photo that when they say when the guy so Sauce is there and they're like, and the director goes, cut. Sauce, here's what I want you to do. I want you to dip. I want you to dip your hand and raise it up near your face and just kind of look at us like, like he's like this, he's like, hold the side. He's like, sure, no problem, director. I'll do that. And I'm like, what the? Like, he should have been on the editing floor, Dark Soldier with the crew coming in the show. But like, you for Pete's sake, like he has to be like his own. Like, we all have to have filters in our life. And like, if a director says, do this, you're like, no, I'm Sauce. The hell I'm doing that, you freak. So he said they did him dirty, and I saw Sauce said that on Twitter. Yeah, bizarre, weird.
He didn't like it at all.
Yeah,
he was
don't
pissed.
blame him. So I wish that if I was, I fly on that wall. But if I'm Sauce and they have that, like, I hope they were kind of keeping in contact with him because he did obviously this full length feature in the piece that like, hey, before you pick the front cover, kind of circle back to me to make sure it's okay. Obviously, that did not transpire, but bizarre.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that is weird.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, we had the inside joke with Tickle Me Elmo. Yeah. So, anywho, Dark Soldier has been, yeah, you're right, Dark Soldier. I just assumed everyone knew.
About this guy.
Oh, okay, great. So, like on my show, a long time ago, before I had all the beautiful and handsome subscribers that I had, Dark Soldier used to come in, and I can't even remember how it started. Maybe he knows, but like every time he came in the chat and said anything, somehow I just screamed at the top of my lungs, crew, that he was coming in. I don't know where that started or how that happened, but every time he comes in now, any show, Jake Asman, this show, any Green Bean, any show, he comes up. I just randomly yell it, and people are like, like, is he off his meds? Like, what's happening there? Which, by the way, I am. I'm now out of painkillers for this ACL surgery. I am now off those meds. But, yeah, so, yeah.
Right.
I don't know how it started, but, yeah, there you go. Oh, see, so he started it, and then I just yelled it. So, okay, there you go. That makes sense. So. Oh, Damian Woody. Oh, that was it. Awesome. Yeah. There you go. Which was an amazing show. We got to get Damian back on the show. Damian was he was an absolute blast. So what better off season than this one where we're all gosh darn giddy for everything that this season promises. So there you go. Dark Soldier with a reminder on that one. Yeah, Damian. We've had a lot of great guests on the show. I'm very, very humbled to have all the wonderful guests we've had on the show over the years.
Definitely, yeah, you guys are really kicking ass. You guys really
trying to, man. We're trying to, for sure.
You got like 4 different things going on.
That's true. I've got too many friggin' shows. I'm
with you too. I'm Mr. Hollywood, as they call me.
So see, there you go. You need one of those. I see all those Italy Jet jerseys behind you. We need a Hollywood one. I don't know if there's a spot or
advocated for that.
I know people have said that, and I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know.
Yes. What's it? Help me with this. What's the 22 mean? What's the 22 I see on all these Italy Jet jerseys?
So I started everything in 2022.
Oh, okay.
And my favorite number is 22.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought there was some deep, dark personal story. You're like, when I was 5, I was abandoned, and then there was 22 of that. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. He's just like, yeah, my favorite number is 22. I'm like, okay. All right. A simple story. I like it. Okay.
It works.
But you didn't hear what he never told you was over his left shoulder about 1980.
Oh yeah, what's that? Yeah, I got to squint for that one. I don't know if my glasses are good
I
enough
guess
for
I
that
should
80.
move out of the way.
Is that the
Okay,
Wayne
so
Corbett? Wait, Davis. Is that a Corey Davis jersey back there? Oh boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
he loves Corey Davis for some reason.
That's kind of like I mean that's fine. He's a fine man, a fine human being, but I can understand why his head's normally there blocking it. I wouldn't be proud to show that off either, I guess. But
It's
yeah,
strange.
yeah, there you go. There is a bizarre collection as I'm like looking at all these jerseys on his wall. There, like, it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason going on here. And are all the hangers different colors? Like, what's going on there? You're on mute, Italy. I can't even hear what you're saying right now. But you know,
Oh man.
hear me now?
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. We're good. So what do we got?
Teams. My teams are all over the place, and
I see that. Yeah.
all of them autographed.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
So
that I can respect. Okay.
yeah, so I mean, I love Corey Davis, so he's one of my favorite players, and that might get changed. It might not. I don't know yet, but
so you're saying the door's open for Corey to be replaced? That's what you're saying.
The only door to be.
Okay. Sorry, Corey Davis. Sorry, pal.
Yeah. I hope not, though. I want him here, and I like.
If you're
him,
watching, Corey, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Corey.
On the team
don't leave, Corey. Please don't leave.
Yeah. There we go.
But
you know what?
Go on.
You know what your background reminds me of? It reminds me of like walking into like a Lids.
A Lids. Yeah, I actually can really see that for Italy. There is a Lids thing happening there.
Well,
like
you should see my closet. You should see my closet. It's everywhere.
Like 20% off. Like, what's happening there? Yeah, that's what we want to know. That's what the people want to know. Yes.
Hey, I mean, if you got the autograph connection, got hat connection,
don't you?
Why not? Why not?
Who's your supplier? I don't know if we're not allowed to do this live on the show. Who's your guy? Don't you do like all these awesome giveaways?
I can't do that.
Okay,
but after I can.
Okay, I appreciate that. What a guy.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't even know who his supplier is. No. He won't tell me.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. And you guys do a show together. Yeah.
There you go. I'm Gunny's supplier. And I'm adding another guy, and hopefully I'll add you eventually. But I love it. I love sports memorabilia. I've been getting autographs since I was 7 years old, and jerseys since I was 7 years old. So I love it.
Trade in product. I can appreciate that.
Exactly.
Respect. Yes.
Exactly.
You sent me a couple things. You have sent me a couple things.
I got some.
Did he give you a solid discount? Did he go like 5%, or like for you? Did he charge you more? Did he say like like this $100? No, I'm your friend. That's 120. I thought we were just at 100. What happened? What? That could be.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
You're giving him ideas.
I see. Yeah, I apologize for that. What do we got?
Here's darts. Forget Rockstar lifestyle. Italy lives in lifestyle.
An egomaniacal.
Hey. Okay, as much as I'd like to make fun of Italy here, look above me. There is a picture. It's hard to see with the particular lighting in the room. I was just at my college. My brain, I got hit. I've been hit too many times in the head with Taekwondo. But like this picture behind me,
with soccer. I get it.
I was, so I did this whole spiel where I spoke, to all these classes and stuff at my college and all these kids and everything. And then so after there's like an after party, and then you head into like this banquet room, and then I'm standing in front of this sign that's right here, and I'm just like, kissing baby, signing autographs. Yeah, I'm handsome. I know. Thank you. I will tell you more about myself. So like, how egomaniacal can you get? I got one of these. I got the banner behind me, right? The boy green action. I'm trying to see
sick helmet that I wish they would bring back.
Yeah, that's true. Please, that's a whole New York Sack Exchange autograph helmet, which is nice. Won that in an auction. That's beautiful. Got a safari.
Italy has like 7 of those, I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet he does. Actually, he does. He probably is. Again, we got to get on the same page as far as that's concerned. And so I got a lot of Jet stuff. But egomaniacal, come on, man. Like, look at this. I got a picture of myself behind me live on another show. I mean, it's a little intense.
I love it. I respect it.
You just have 4, I guess. I have 1.
Why not? Why not?
That's a good point. That's fair.
It's a brand. It's a brand. You're confident in your brand, and you love what you do, right, Paul? You love it.
It is. It does feel like it's being forced down my throat. I'm going to be honest with that many Italy Jets, but I can respect the aggressiveness. I can absolutely respect the aggressiveness. Yes.
Well, it's funny because I do Jets content, I do Boston Red Sox content, and I do West Ham content. Wow. So, and now I'm about to do Miami Heat. Okay. So.
I'm sorry to hear that because the Celtics are taking out the Heat. I just want to
no.
You're absolutely taking out the Heat.
No.
Doing that again, but perhaps a different show. Perhaps a different.
I have a new nickname for Italy. He really is like the StreamYard whore because he's just all over StreamYard.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense. Yeah,
love it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Thank you, Turbulence. We appreciate you and love you.
Sweet.
DK, if it's merchandise, Gino has it. I do.
Yes. Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Mm.
But Paul, listen, I think we should give a round of applause, honestly, to this. We got 6
Look at
primetime
that.
games.
Juicy.
I mean, when's the last time we had 6 primetime games? Are you pumped
never
for this? Are you pumped for this, or is this something you're not looking forward to because of all the uncertainty with the scheduling and if we get an injury? Do you like all this attention though?
So I'll answer your first question first. It has never happened because the primetime schedule changed. Hello, Zariah, my little rubber ducky, running in here, my little daughter. Yeah, sorry, it's not off.
Hello.
So we've never had it because the primetime max used to be 5. So
right.
So 6 is historic for the Jets anyway. Other teams, I'm sure, have flirted with that since the rules changed. But they have 6, and they can have more with the flex opportunities. So they can't be flexed into another Thursday night game. That is still being discussed. We'll see if the second owners meeting later here in May that is approved. Even if it is approved, the Jets can't. They have 2 short weeks because they have the Thursday night football game, which is the Browns game, and the Black Friday game, which obviously is on Friday. So they cannot be flexed to a Thursday night game, but there's a chance later in the season to be flexed to another Sunday night or another Monday night. So there could be 7. But to answer your second part of your question, I'm going to be honest, I'm somewhat insulted by it. The people that have this stupid losers mentality of, I don't know, the schedule stuff, suck it up, Sally. I mean, oh my goodness.
I'm not complaining about it. I just want to know what you think
you're
of
not. I know I'm shooting the messenger here, but I just have to say that like the comments I'm seeing in the streets make me sick. It's disgusting. Yeah. I'm like, we've been begging for, opportunities forever. We get one stinking opportunity last year, which by the way sucked. It was the week 16 Jaguars game. We had all this hype and CJ Mosley comes out with a Bane mask and we're hyped up.
I was there.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, I'm not sorry for the pregame because the pregame looked phenomenal on television. I can only imagine what it was there at the stadium.
Believe it or not, on my way there, I got a flat tire, so I missed the entire pregame.
Oh, the best part, unfortunately.
I'm walking into the stadium. I hear the stadium rocking. So I missed the Quinnen Williams play, like the fumble.
Oh, geez.
I walk into the stadium. It's pouring rain, and it's just downhill from there.
Yeah. Oh man, that is horrible for you. But in terms of, I to answer you, Italy, I freaking love. Like, sign me up. Like, that's the thing that pissed me off. I sent out the clip of Alan Hahn, who does ESPN stuff. Yes. And he was on television, and he said, like, man, why couldn't we have gotten the Commanders? And to me, it irks me, man. I felt like when the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, there'd be a respect level. There would be a, gamesmanship, like, we're ready to go. We've got Aaron Rodgers, but like, people are whining and begging on national television for the Washington Commanders. Give me Buffalo, give me Kansas City, give me the Dallas Cowboys, which is a game I'm going to be at in week 2 in Dallas. Like, give me that. Right. Inject it into my veins. I want the opportunities. I want the chance to punch Buffalo in the mouth week 1 and be in first place in the AFC East. Week 4, the Kansas City Chiefs, what some people are calling the best game of the season. The best game of the season that multiple television networks were fighting for. Jets, Cowboys, multiple television networks were fighting for. Jets, Bills, multiple television networks were fighting for, from everything I've heard. Like, what are we talking about here? Sign me up. And right, to the point, Italy, and I get the back half of the question, like, because what if something happens and then all of a sudden unfortunate Jet fans are, almost forced into action of watching their team if something goes south. Sure. Is that possible? Yeah. But injuries can happen to any of us. I could have got hit by a bus before this interview, and all the hubbub and hype of Boy Green being on the show would have been nothing because I would have been gone. But you guys still would have had to come on and left maybe a RIP Boy Green logo on the screen, perhaps, with all the graphics on this show. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, the show goes on. So, like, sure, can an injury happen? Of course. But to me, I've always been a glass half full guy in life. You don't control the cards you're dealt, but you control how you respond to the adversity you're given in life. So I'm ready. Buckle up. I'd love to roll out the ball right now against the Buffalo Bills, but I'm going to try to really enjoy this offseason process. We got the Hall of Fame game. It's going to kick off the preseason. The Jets are getting hard knocks. It's not official, but they're going to get hard knocks. I'm going to enjoy that. So I'm really going to savor the flavor, 100%. Guaranteed they're getting hard knocks. So I feel emphatic about that. So I'm going to really enjoy this process. but I can't wait for the season. And I am so excited to change my 1:00 schedule of going to the sandwich shop and doing this and doing that. Like, let's go primetime. Let's enjoy the NFL games that are on the calendar. And then at nighttime, flip on the lights. The Jets are playing. Like, I'm so freaking lit. I'm so excited. I'm fired up. I hope that's palpable.
I agree with everything you said. And if you were to get hit by a bus, I think me and Italy, we would definitely get a jersey up on Italy's back wall of an RIP Boy Green, right?
Well, it would probably be RIP Boy Green 22. Like, I wouldn't even get my 25 number on there because I got this egomaniac up there. But no, like 2-2, because he'd be like, there's 2 wheels in the front of the bus, 2 wheels in the back of the bus. Boop, boop, the human speed bump that I would have meant.
This is your second time coming on.
That's it. There's another 2. There's so many 2s. We can will the 2s into existence.
Wow.
But I appreciate that, Liam. You going out of your way to place that level of immortality for me to live on forever, regardless of my limp carcass getting hit by a bus. That means the world.
I really like this. I really like this comment though.
Yeah.
Give us all the teams up front while everyone is healthy, so we don't have to hear about injuries because we won. Yeah, this is the attitude that we need. Everyone's so afraid to play Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen twice and all the Eagles. I'm not afraid of it. If anything, I want to know what the Chiefs are all about before we play them later on in the playoffs at home.
Yeah, and to me, I'll even take it a step further that the Jets, according to some of the strength of schedule numbers, and again, you can interpret different numbers for different things, but the Jets entering it had the 6th toughest schedule in the NFL. And to me, again, you can embrace that whatever way, like, oh man, the NFL screwed us. Or like, to me, like, awesome, phenomenal. Now, like last year, do you remember all the people chirping? You're only beating backups. You're only beating backups. By the way, I didn't give a crap whether it was backup third string, your mama, my mama. I don't care. I will beat anybody to get to the playoffs. And we don't pick the opponents. We just play them as is. However, with that being said, if I had the choice, line up, I want Patrick Mahomes. I want Blaine Gabbert in week 4 or Cooper Rush against a guy. Like, bring on your best and let's have our best, because I think there is I don't even know what the right word is. I was going to say masculinity, but that's not the right word. That like this like mana warrior spirit that like when you beat another team at their best, you must absorb their spirit into your own, making you even stronger and you even more powerful as you're going through a season, as you're getting pelts on the wall, collecting opponent beatdowns. Because then instead of people like looking at you as a fraud or a pretender because of like, well, you beat them, but this, you beat them, but this, I don't want any excuses. So the Jets played the 2 Super Bowl teams within a 3-week span before the bye week. So, like, we're going to buckle the chin strap and find out. So,
yeah, I love it because right before the bye, God forbid something goes haywire, we have the bye where we can kind of like recuperate. Historically, I mean, this isn't a historically season, but historically we have been terrible after the bye. So, so let's hope that all changes, but let's just hope that everything goes right as planned. We're kicking ass all throughout the season, and we don't need this bye to kind of get right. We can just get right from the beginning.
100%. So yeah, what a week 7 buys. So that's fine with me. That's there's been earlier buys, there's been later buys. I'm fine with that. That's relatively in the middle. I know it's not exactly in the middle, but that's more than fine.
He's coming after your helmet back there.
I see that. I noticed it. Like I said, I won it and it was we have some local sports person somewhere in the general area in New York, like within a couple hours. And a friend told me, because I do radio during the day, a friend of the show texted me and said, hey, there's this cool New York Sack Exchange helmet thing. There's like, I don't know, 15 people. Everyone throws in $20. And then they randomly pick a number and someone who paid $20 gets a helmet. I'm like, wow, that sounds like a win-win. Like it's $20. I would rather not like $20 on fire, but if there's a chance to get that, that'd be totally worth it. I win it, and I couldn't believe it. The box comes into this whole box open reveal, and it's a beautiful, cherished memory, part of the collection for sure. I'm humbled to have a lot of really cool, I'm looking at it as I'm looking around the man cave over there or like reflection to the stuff behind me. Like I'm blessed to have a lot of really cool memorabilia stuff. So that is certainly up there.
I love that. Liam, do you got any more questions for Board Green?
Yes, fire off, baby.
What do we respect your time? I know we're a little bit over, but
no, that's okay. If you guys got some more questions, I can fire them off.
I could talk to you for hours. So
exactly.
That's beautiful. Well, yeah, whatever's on your mind, I got you guys. Sure.
So
well, just I guess my last question will be what are your overall predictions for this upcoming season? The schedule just came out. You have a record prediction, Super Bowl. What are you thinking here?
So let's see. I do again because Italy mentioned it as well. I do too many shows, but one of the shows I do every Monday during the off season is this thing called the Sick Podcast with Boy Grants in my Twitter bio. And the
Yes.
Twitter handle is, and basically the gist of that, and hopefully I could get you guys on actually.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
And then
I'd love to.
it's actually it's harder than you think to try to get
I
someone
agree.
booked on a singular day of a week with only a certain time, because we have this.
I agree.
It's a long story short. I don't want to get too off into the weeds, but there's a third party that hosts it. So like you guys are hosting the StreamYard, there's this third party place that hosts all of my shows, and they edit it and do all that stuff behind the scenes, and I just talk in front. And so it's a lot more complicated to get guests than I would have thought. So that part has been a challenging part of the process. But a big thing for me when they offered the opportunity, I said, man, it'd be a cool way for me to make sure I talk to fellow Jets content creators on a normal basis, because it's so hard during my normal run of content because I have all these guests and normal things that are hitting on a day-to-day basis. It's complicated.
Yeah.
So to like force myself every Monday, in this case during the off season, to talk about it. So I'd love to get you guys on. We'll see what your Monday schedules are. We'll talk off air. My people, your people. Try to figure that out. So I'd love to do that. But so I had Jet Central on earlier today for this Monday, and the episode's out. And I gave my official prediction. It's 13-4. I have the Jets winning the AFC East. I have them going 13-4, which, by the way, would be the most regular season wins in Jets history. The number is 12 in 1998. That's a record. The Jets have never won 12 games outside of that single season. So I have them winning the most regular season wins of all time. Like I said, which would be 13. So I have them going 13-4. And then the 4 losses, let me see if I can remember them off the top of my head. It was Broncos, which was just kind of a weird trap game after starting the season 4-0, which is good. You beat the Chiefs and Cowboys and all those teams. But I have them losing to the Broncos, the Eagles, so those ones were back-to-back, and then splitting with the Bills and Dolphins. So those random 4 losses, as we see on the screen. So I had, so you see, and the Jet schedule goes left to right. So let me just make sure I get my math right. So week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So week 5 and 6, they play at the Broncos and then back home against the Eagles. I had them losing back-to-back. Again, trap game of Broncos sandwiched in between Chiefs and Eagles, and the Eagles are really good. They go into the bye week. They go on this run of winning all these games. They split with Buffalo. I had them winning the first one, losing the second one, winning the first Dolphins Black Friday game at home, and then losing the second one. And then, like I said, you get to a 13-4 record. You win the division, and we're kissing baby, signing autographs. So that was my prognostications. 13-4, AFC East, and of course they're winning the Super Bowl, baby. Obviously, yes, they're going all the way. That's why you make a move. Well, if they make the playoffs, I'll be fine. If they win a game, I'll be fine. Hell no, we go to win the whole damn thing. That's why you get Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yes.
Italy.
Same here. I think 11-6, and I think we will win the division.
11-6.
11-6, and I think we'll win the division. The only thing that I could see us in competition with it, honestly, is Buffalo might make a late stretch, or the Dolphins, because I know the Dolphins have had some very key pieces.
What about New England? You didn't mention them, I noticed.
I don't even know who that is.
I see. Yeah, just like the Elmo thing earlier. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Understood.
Great minds think alike. But yes, I can't see New England do anything. And Belichick's getting old. Like, damn.
He is. He's
late 70s, right?
Balls. Yeah. Let me look that up. He's probably at the top of my head, like 79?
79?
He's 71. So, he's younger than we thought.
Wow,
and he just turned 71 in April, a month ago. So he's only 71, although 71's still old as hell too, but 71, right. Yes.
Yeah, my dad's been saying that he's been waiting for Belichick to croak on the sideline for the last 20 years. So
Jesus, that is dark, but I can respect it. Yes,
but I do understand. I do understand that Belichick, when he's there, like, you can't count him out because we have a winning streak against him. So I get that, right? But overall,
or just a losing streak.
Against them.
13 in a row or something like that.
14.
And then it's like
now we're at 14 now.
And it's like 22 of 24. Like the Jets have only won like 2 games against New England in like the last 24, 25 games. It's something like that. Like, I knew the number, so I should just add 2 since the Jets got swept again last year. But like, I knew the number was something like that of losses in a row and then the losses of losses. Like I said, 22 of 24 or something like that. Yeah. By the way, I saw the random DK question. No, I don't. I think the coin has died. Maybe not. Maybe he could try the coin guy, the big coin guy. So like we had that forever. It just feels like a once in a lifetime thing. Maybe it happens again, and then put the coin in the Hall of Fame for God's sakes. But
Italy, I remember you hated that guy.
Oh my God, I hated everything with that damn coin.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
That was kind of crazy. What was that? 13, 14 weeks or something? That's unbelievable.
It had a long stretch of good, and then it dropped back down to life after the Bears game. So
yeah. Tough,
man. Tough.
All right, Italy, I cut you off when you were talking about New England, so I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
So with New England, like I said, you don't know what they're going to do. They might go out and get Hopkins again. Like they could make a trade anytime now. You never know. I don't think so.
Bill O'Brien and Hopkins, that'd be interesting.
But Belichick is sneaky like that. It's like the Steelers were sneaky with us in the draft. And so is the Patriots.
What? Like, who does he have to throw to?
Exactly.
What if he's not doing TikTok dances on the side? What the heck? I'm not afraid of New England. They suck. That team freaking sucks. Like the defense, okay, that's respectable. And Belichick is a defensive mastermind. And the offense can't be worse. I mean, whatever that weird Matt Patricia Joe Judge baby was disturbing. So I guess Bill O'Brien at a it's like the honeymoon after Adam Gase. Like Robert Saleh couldn't be worse than Gase was. So like it was all uphill from that standpoint. But come on. Like, there's no freaking way. I feel like the bottom falls out for New England. We've probably been saying that a long time, but like there's no way. There's no way. This offense stinks. They suck.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Good.
Let's keep it like that. But it's still the Patriots. So I will always be a little not a little on edge, but just like I'm not gonna go past them unless we win that damn game. We win one game against them. If we win one against them, then I'm like, oh fuck it, we're gonna take it this year, 2 in a row, and then we're good.
There you go. Like I said,
well, I mean, we blew both games last year. It's not that they necessarily beat us.
Pick 6, and then we couldn't move the ball an inch. That's it. Pick 6,
and then that punt.
Then the punt. But you could say the punt, which is fine. And I was at a bar for that, and that was incredibly difficult to watch in a public setting. There was the punt, but like I said, the not moving the ball an inch. When the Jets had the ball 3rd and whatever it was 2, they went to shotgun. I was kind of weirded out, and Zach Wilson missed a wide open Elijah. Like he didn't even not missed him like he missed the throw, like missed him like he didn't see him. Or if that's a first down, the Patriots never get the chance at the punt return. So like they couldn't move the ball in that second game, and then you had the pick 6 that completely flipped the game on a garbage JFM call. So like it just sucks. It sucks.
We have a question for you in the chat here. Boy Green, is it fair to say if we don't win with this roster, this team will never figure it out?
That's an interesting question. I've not been asked that. Is it fair to say if we don't win with this roster? Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. Every year, the roster changes. So, like, if your other – I saw another person randomly say here that, like, the difference between this or this is coaching. Like, I think coaching is bigger than just a one-win differential. So, whether 12-5 to 11-6, I think it's bigger than that.
I agree.
But just to the point, though, that, like, will we ever figure it out? Then the only question, if you didn't figure out with this roster, outside of injuries, of course, which is always a factor – then it would have to be coaching is the reason, because this Jets defense was top 4 last year. You add Aaron Rodgers, and you won 7 games in spite of your quarterback. So going from 32nd at quarterback in a 32-team league, maybe 33rd out of 32 teams, which I don't know if that's physically possible, but if they were 33rd in quarterback, okay, compared to Aaron Rodgers, who's like a top 3 quarterback, like that has some difference to me. And then you consider everything else. Like if you don't win with this, you must have the worst coaching staff in the league if that's the case. So, like, yes, all the pressure is on these coaches to be able to make the difference, because the players are right now. The defense is right. The quarterback is right. All these skill positions are right. Like, coaching is what will be able to separate this team or not separate this team. So that'll be interesting in key moments, because Robert's always effed clock management before. Like if that rears its ugly head, that's going to be a tough pill for Jet fans to swallow. Say, wow, we've constructed this perfect roster and Aaron Rodgers, and nothing's perfect, but relatively speaking, to be able to flip this around, we got this really, really talented, deep roster, and the coaches are blowing it. That would be a hard thing for Jet fans to ever forgive an organization for. So, yeah, there is some true serum to this by Jets Turbulence Podcast.
Great, guys. All right.
I totally agree with you.
Not enough there on the guarantees, I would just say. I saw Melvin drop in, so 26 million average, that's fine, but like the 65 million guaranteed isn't enough. I think it's going to be 75 million fully guaranteed, which will be the largest guarantee in Jets history. So,
and at that position,
correct, right, at defensive tackle. So factor all that in there. I think all that's important.
Have a good
See you,
night,
Dark.
Yep, peace.
All right,
Big factor I've seen is the head coach specialty. How many of the last 10 Super Bowl teams had an offensive head coach? The mentality is different.
Again, I get why people say, and that's why reportedly one of the reasons the Jets forced the square peg with Adam Gase is if you get a defensive guy, as the Jets got in Saleh and then got LaFleur, if the LaFleur is good or bad, as we found out, and you remove him from the puzzle, your QB could be effed. If the head coach is offense, then you never have to worry about that leaving because he will be there as long as the head coach is there. But to me, again, at the end of the day, I want a leader of men. I don't give a flying hoot if your label is offense, defense. Harbaugh in Ravens land was a former special teams guy. So, I think sometimes labels are overrated. People can look at those kind of factors in the last 10 Super Bowls, say this, that, or indifferent. To me, is he a leader of men? And I believe in Robert Saleh. I believe he's a leader of men. I believe he's cut from the right cloth. And Nathaniel Hackett has had success, especially with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not worried about those pieces of the puzzle.
I agree. Boy Green, man, we appreciate you being on the show. Where can we find you real quick, my man?
Of course. I try to make it as simple as possible. It's at BoyGreen25 everywhere. We're back team verified today, so it's great to be back a part of
I saw that. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, it was kind of weird because I saw it in 2021 or something like that. That's when I first became verified. They just thought, hey, you're a big deal. That's cool to hear back in those days. And so I had that. So it's nice to be back on the verified side. So you guys can, of course, hit me up on Twitter. That's where I'm most active. That's my biggest social media following. But number 2 is the YouTube. So youtube.com/BoyGreen25. It's in my Twitter bio. If you guys can subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We're closing in on 5,000 subscribers. So we're like 100-ish away, something like that. So we're just grinding, baby. We're grinding. So yeah, any help on that would be great. Again, www.youtube.com/ or @ that's a new thing on YouTube. So either @BoyGreen25 or /BoyGreen25. Feel free for you guys to check it out on YouTube. I'd appreciate it.
And we're going to have
we're getting you. Don't worry. Check your mail. The Boy Green 22 jersey's on its way.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I do not have a Boy Green 22 jersey. I have a Jet jersey. That's my dad was a big Emmitt Smith fan, and so I had the 22 from him. But I was a Jet fan, so he put 22 on a Jet jersey for me, which was kind of an ode to Justin Miller days. But so I do have a 22 buried in the closet, the old school stealth black. But I would, yes, Italy. I appreciate the 22. Apparently, that's in the mail right now. Thank you for that. I much appreciate it.
There's a lot of surprises tonight, so it'll be interesting off screen. But guys, thank you so much for coming on the show, Paul. We appreciate you, man. We'll have you more down the line on the show.
Awesome.
Definitely collabing, and also just a great year. Let's have a great year with the Jets and stuff. Guys, come comment, share, subscribe, and like to our podcast. You can follow Liam if you want to follow Liam. You don't have to, but on Instagram, he's right here. And then me, Italy Jet, I'm on these social media platforms. Come follow us. We are now not going to come back next week. Me and Liam's going on vacation. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Panama City Beach. He's going near Buffalo. I'm going to enjoy my time off.
Who got the best of that bet? Let me just say that. Who got the best of those
vacation
spots? Yikes. But anywho.
Definitely. We'll be back the week after that at the end of May, early June. But guys, thank you so much. Paul, appreciate you as usual. Liam, have a good night, everyone. Go Jets.